This is an ecosystem. So is this, and this too. These are all ecosystems, and they include all interacting plants and animals in a given area. Also, their non-living environment, like the sun, weather, and climate. Hi, I'm Michele Lee.
And I'm Ezra Ramos.
And we're here to teach you about ecosystems. Wait.
What?
Okay, I'm Ezra Ramos.
And I'm Michele Lee.
And we're here to teach you about ecosystems. In an ecosystem, every single organism has a niche or role to play. Things interact with each other and their environment.
A small puddle in the street is an ecosystem, complete with microorganisms, insects, plants, and non-living factors.
Members of an ecosystem are so dependent on one another that if one part is missing, a whole area could be affected. And if there's a stranger to the environment, whether living or non-living, there could be changes in temperature, the balance in the ecosystem can be disrupted and destroyed.
Remember that nice little puddle? There are different scales of ecosystems in areas like puddles, under rocks, ponds, and others are microecosystems.
And since we're in Connecticut, what do we have a lot of?
Forests. These forests are medium scales of ecosystems called mesos.
Finally, the big boy of ecosystems, biomes. Biomes are a collection of ecosystems. The rainforest, for example, has a lot of microecosystems, and many bodies of water running through, and lots of animals and plants.
And all are a part of different mesoecosystems. As a side note,
there are two types of ecosystems: aquatic ecosystems in the water, and terrestrial ecosystems on land.
There are different levels of an ecosystem. Take this quarter, for example. One quarter is an individual. Each one of you is an individual. I'm an individual.
Now look, I have more quarters. I now have a population of quarters. You as a class of individuals is a population. Many of individuals of the same species make up a second level of an ecosystem, population.
Okay, so I have my quarters, but I also have pennies, nickels, and dimes. I have multiple populations. I have a community of coins. All of the students in a school in their different classes are a community that make up the population.
Now I put the coins back into the ecosystem, my pocket. Your school is an ecosystem, and then you have a biome. In my case, it's macaques. It's a collection of different ecosystems. The district of your school is a biome.
Finally, we have the biosphere. This is the whole world. The whole world is a biosphere. There are different types of biomes, too.
A tropical forest, for instance. They're hot, humid, and have a large diversity of species. And almost half the world, plants and animals, living in it.
A savanna, or a tropical grassland, is hot and dry with two distinct seasons, a dry season and a rainy season. You may have heard of the king of the jungle, the lion, but in reality, the lion lives in a savanna, not a jungle.
Then there's a desert, which pretty much is self-explanatory.
Then there's the not too hot, not too cold Mediterranean biome.
A temperate grassland, like prairies in the US, have a lot of grass and trees. They have a mid-temperature with moderate rainfall.
A deciduous forest is very common in the US. Trees lose their leaves and have a temperate maritime climate or connected with the sea.
These coniferous forests have a lot of evergreen trees and cool climate with moderate rainfall.
A mountain biome gets pretty cold at night and in the winter. Fun fact, almost 80% of fresh water comes from mountain.
Lastly, the tundra. They're extremely cold and they surround the north and south poles.
The feeding relationship in an ecosystem is called a food chain. The arrows of a food chain represent the flow of energy.
Don't confuse a food chain with a food web. A food web is complex and shows a network of food chains.
Trophic levels are the levels of a food chain, kind of like a food pyramid. First of all, the sun is the source of energy in all levels.
The trophic levels go like this: producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, and predator.
Producers, like plants, provide food for the primary consumers. The primary consumers produce food for the secondary consumers, and so on.
And to wrap it all up, ecosystems are everywhere. The forest, the desert, they're all biomes.
Then the smaller scale, the little area within the biome, is the ecosystem. Now, the whole world is a biosphere.
So next time you go outside, look for different ecosystems and different trophic levels.
This is Michele Lee
And Ezra Ramos.
of Scenic Sublime signing off.